Go ahead.
I know you talked a lot about starting a class, so I'm sorry that I'm going back to this, but did you have them all sit down and say, okay, this is what blue means, this is what yellow means, and this is what red means?
Yeah.
Because I know Dr. Berkey kind of said she would like you to get all of them on and then maybe just have them move around the perimeter and do whatever and say, stop, okay, look at your tile, or is that not necessarily?
Well, but see, that's the beauty of, that's
It's gonna
the,
be different
that's
for
the
every
beauty,
class.
exactly, that's
Because
the,
I tried both.
that's the
Okay.
beauty of the system.
Yeah.
And that's why having just I'll just call it a cookie cutter,
It's not, yeah.
lesson plan, we're gonna develop one that has the concepts, but how you choose, maybe with one class, you do get them up and move them and say, hey, look, what did that do, when you moved around, what happened to the tile color?
Yep.
And then with others, not so much.
Yeah. On the
So
first,
what did that do for you? What did you like better?
well, I'll say on the first time I did it, I had everyone come in, we talked about it, and then we dismissed them to grab a strap by squads, and it was okay, but at that point it was like, you really got to look at a kid's arm and be like, all right, you're going to be you're going to be a black, you're going to be a red, whatever. And then by the time you do that, it's like, you might as well have already turned it on for them because they're asking all these questions, and it's like, it's too much because I didn't explain talking about turning it on and stuff. For me, it worked best where, they have their line outside the gym. You'd say, when you come in, you're gonna stay in line. I'm gonna put a heart strap on you. You're gonna go to your squad spot. There, you're gonna press and hold, look at your number, and look at it on the screen. And if you wanted to, at that point, tell them like, while you're waiting for everyone, do some jumping jacks or like do something that's like a stationary movement, so they can sit and do it. And it's not like, the kids aren't running around the gym and being crazy, but they're in a single spot, moving around, watching their heart rate.
So each teacher then would develop their own management style or system. I mean, with older kids, maybe you have group leaders. But see, here's the thing: she had them for a one-shot deal for a week. But it's still, if she had them for 36 weeks,
It'd be a difference.
she would, the first 2 weeks, she would be teaching that system. So you would choose, however, whatever system you were going to use,
Right.
and then stick with it. The only thing I can see that maybe you might have consider what you just said is maybe you also put the directions on the wall. What you just said about, because you know this as well as I do, from the time they hit the door till they walk partway across the gym. So it could be that would be another element to that you'd have that beside the screen as well.
But I also think like if I had them for the whole school year, I would also, they'd be in like the containers like Dr. Berkey has, and they would just be sitting there. They would strap them up themselves, and then there'd also be a wipe down process because they get. I mean, you guys know we've used them at Hillside, and they get gross. But honestly, if you let them sit on the table for a couple seconds, like you just wipe off the actual device, they dry up pretty quickly. You could use them in the next class, and we did. It worked.
Probably a lot, and different people have different ways of doing that. I mean, I
Right.
have an elementary teacher across the state in Birmingham that he dips them in water, so they're wet anyway
Oh,
with a little bit of I don't know what he puts in them. I hope it isn't ammonia, but he dips them,
something.
so they're a little wet.
Yeah.
So in his system, they come in, they know which monitor to grab, and they know how. That's the other piece that gets a little crazy, is getting them to understand it's skin to skin. They try to loop it underneath so that the sensor's not against the skin.
Yeah.
So if you have
Yeah,
extra
on the
bands,
and
yep.
stuff.
If you have extra bands, you get one group of bands can dry while the other ones are in use. If you don't have that, well, you're spraying or you're wiping down. And they picked up on you do need to wipe the back of it, because there's kids who come in with lotion and all kinds of. Wait till you get to the high school if you
Yeah, I
think.
was gonna say, especially in those ones.
Yeah.
So what did you do then if they had pants on? I mean, because when we did it at Hillside,
Yeah.
they all just had shorts on, so we didn't have to
It
worry
wasn't
about
an
that
issue.
at all.
Most of the girls, I would say like it wasn't too big of an issue for the guys because guys, their pants flare out for the most part, unless they're wearing the skinny jeans. But even then, like most of them are skinny enough where you could just roll them up and it would work. The girls, a lot of them just wear leggings, so I would just pull their leggings up. And you don't even have to go very high, like just above the ankle works. And honestly, if you put them on the wrist, just above, you know, your like the bone on your wrist, it works for some kids. And a lot of them actually like, I mean, I liked it higher just so like it wasn't falling, but some of the kids, they liked it right there. And I was like, it was working, it did its job, so.
As long as it's not down on the wrist.
No, it wasn't down here, it was, you know, just
Right.
above,
Well,
and it worked.
different ones have it. Some of them, did any of them complain that it itched?
There was one girl, we basically just decided we're not gonna use it with her anymore because she had, I think we put it on probably too tight during Jumpstart, which is our morning program, and then by the time she came to class, you could just see she was, you know, it looked like a hickey. It was just completely bruised, just nasty, and I felt bad for her, you know, because she was complaining about it, and then we put it on lower, and it still was irritating her, so we just decided.
So what did
like,
you learn? Okay, you can either take it off, or what'd you learn? If you were gonna keep that on her for the year,
I'd probably talk to her parents, to be honest,
and also maybe check to see how tight they are,
Right.
because some of
Well,
those
that
kids,
too.
since,
yeah. And I'd probably try her leg, because I feel like when it's on the leg, you don't worry too much about the pinching, and I don't
It's
know.
a little bit more tough.
Exactly. But I would recommend when you guys go, if Dr. Ricky has some more small ones, like, a lot of the kids are small.
Okay.
Even 5th grade, like, I mean, even us, those red bands barely fit. If you know, you have to get it perfectly adjusted. So I would recommend bringing some more of those black bands, because a lot of the times, like, we wish we had a couple more. So.
okay, well, it was a guess. It was an
No, I
estimate.
think we had extras,
What, blue ones?
the black ones.
Oh, well, I have them. That's part of the challenge.
Okay.
There's lots of those.
I have a question about them. Can you get them in school colors?
Not yet. That's a,
Working.
speak into the mic. No.
Well, we were talking about that because Amy seriously wants them, and she just wrote a grant for them today.
Already?
Well,
She-
it was due today,
Oh, okay.
and
Surprised I didn't get a call.
well, she doesn't know if she'll get it. There's $10,000 in the district. And,
Yeah, I heard
Didn't
about that.
happen.
Yeah.
but she's like, do they come in school colors? I was like,
Chad's
hopefully.
gonna write it tomorrow.
Okay, so did any other teachers see them?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, when the so we obviously took a little bit extra class time because, I mean, I was running late like every day I was using them because, you know, you don't have your system down and you want the kids to use as much time as possible. You pretty much have to stop the class 5 to 6 minutes before it's over just to get the transition from having them on to having them off to getting to the door, ready to go.
Sorry,
But
I
you
already
have that
to-
5th grade, class on,
I already have to stop them 5 to 6 minutes early,
On-
every single one of my
on
classes.
Friday. You have that 5th grade class that's longer.
Every day 5th grade class is an hour.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that'd be
So
awesome.
5th grade, it's good. Any other grade, my 4th grade classes, I have to stop them 5 minutes early. 3rd grade classes at least 5 minutes early, most of the time. I mean, we can't.
I've been there, remember? And so the other teachers,
They thought it was super cool, and they weren't even mad that we were late. They're like, this is such a cool tool to use. And actually, when Amy was writing her grant today, there's somebody that quoted it that you would compare this batch of technology to Chromebooks. You know, every single classroom nowadays has a Chromebook. You know, this is PE's Chromebook. So it's a tool that we would be using every single day. And honestly, you might not use it every day, but it's good to measure data, and it's good to measure, you know, how the kids grow. And I feel like in schools like Otsego, at least, you know, those kids go K through 5, and then they keep going in high school, and they stay in that school district. So it'd be cool to see the progress from when they start to pretty much all the way when they finish. So.